So I hope those who have given prelims, I hope that they would clear this exam, and within 2 days we are expecting results, so you would get a clarity also. Now in this session what I will be going to discuss is majorly I will focus the how to prepare for society, okay, and what can be learned from the previous questions. So I have analyzed, I have been teaching society from past 10 years. So from past 10 years, what UPSC, what type of questions, what is the nature of questions which is been asked by UPSC with respect to society, that I will try to discuss, and what can be the prospective strategies to prepare for societies. And I will also discuss core areas, okay, core areas, and looking into the contemporary trends, current trends in use cheskoni, current trends choose what can be the prospective areas where UPSC can ask. Let me be very clear, when it comes to UPSC preparation, definitely society is one area, okay, society is one area, Indian society is one area where you can easily predict questions. That is the reason why when we talk about Indian society is, this is a low hanging fruit. Indian society is a low hanging fruit. Easily it is accessible, but unfortunately many students skip this. You aspirants trend in looking at the nature of UPSC will only ask tough questions. UPSC, you will focus only on areas where you have to put more efforts and get less rewards. But being very, by this time you might be knowing, but as an educator, it is my responsibility to remind you again, because around 75 days are left for mains. So in these 75 days, through this lecture, I am going to say that if you give 3 days for Indian society, 3 days means taking around, you prepare for 6 to 7 hours a day for general studies. If you give every day 6 hours continuously for 3 days, you can cover entire Indian society syllabus. All I am asking you is 18 to 20 hours for Indian society, you will get good rewards, because the nature of questions are repeating. I will also discuss what are the major themes which are been continuously repeating. Every year you will see that theme. Every year you will see that question is being repeated. So the major themes, what will be discussed, what are being asked, that I will discuss. I will not restrict to syllabus explanation. I will not restrict in this session to focus on major themes, but also very importantly what I will be doing is, in these 10 years what I have gained through my experience, logical extension of syllabus, logical extension of major themes. This is one area which I will be focusing main. What is that? Logical extension of syllabus, logical extension of themes which has been repeatedly asked. Okay, that we will be discussing. So this is where this is where my experience will come handy to you. Okay, so that will be done. Now you understood what we are going to discuss. Now first things first, what I said is, this is low hanging fruit, easily you can score more marks, because the reason why you can easily score more marks is because of repetitive themes. And the point here is, syllabus is also very concise, syllabus is very limited, and from those syllabus only, from those keywords in the syllabus, questions are being asked. Okay, so this is what we will be doing. So before going forward, actually it is my responsibility to talk about another important point is, I want to give you general instructions for upcoming mains. Okay, this you know, but it is very important. You have to learn it from some educator, because you don't repeat that mistake. what is the general instruction? I will stick very important, I will stick to only those points which are very important and at most important for mains answer writing. What are the general instructions is, start practicing answers every day. You have to write minimum 3 general studies answer daily and 3 optional answers daily. Every day 1 hour you have to spend on answer writing. Every day you have to spend 1 hour on answer writing. Okay, every day you have to spend 1 hour on answer writing. Please be patient, although it is repeating, but it is my responsibility to discuss about this. Second point when it comes to general instructions is, try to address keywords in your answers. Focus on keywords. Focus on keywords like describe, elaborate. By this time you should have a clear idea. What does, when a question is asking to describe, when a question is asking to evaluate, when a question is asking to elaborate, when a question is been asking to critically evaluate. Okay, what is the demand of the question? You have to understand. Address the keywords. Okay, this is very important. So addressing the keywords. And now comes very important is, many people I have seen, those who are preparing for UPSC, they focus more on content. I don't have problem if you focus more on content. The problem arises where you are giving more weightage to content, but what is being sidelined is structure of answer. Structure of answer is missing. Why I am focusing this point in society is one topic everyone knows about the question which has been asked. If you did not prepare economy properly, if you did not focus on economic indicators or some aspects, core concepts of economy, you might not have read. But when it comes to society, there will not be any, there will not be any question which you don't know. You can write something. Everyone can write something about society. Everyone is writing something about society, but why they are not able to score marks is, they are not able to write in a proper structure. Structure is something which we will be discussing. So in this session, we will focus on the structure of answer writing also. And more important, very important point when it comes to mains writing is, unfortunately many educators are also not focusing on this point, is restrained language. Restrained language. How much structure is important on the same lines? The language, the tone of your answer, the tone of your discussion is very much important. Unfortunately, when someone is thinking that critical evaluate is you have to criticize, they are going to any extent to criticize. At the end of the day, you are being asked to criticize. Tomorrow a secretary comes and asks that the policy which I formulated, review it critically. You cannot say on his face that your scheme, your policy is outrightly void or your policy is waste. Your policy there is no merit in your policy. You cannot say that, although he is asking you to critically evaluate. What you have to say is, yes, it has merits, but the execution has been an issue. Yes, it is trying to focus on the issue, but it is not able to take into consideration the ground realities. This policy is good, but this policy might not be the right time to be implemented. There needs to be a done groundwork. This is what is critical evaluation. Restraint language is very much important. So why I am talking about these two words is, UPSC nowadays is asking, for that matter, when I am talking about mains, everyone think that mains is answer writing. Mains is writing answers. Mains is not writing answers. UPSC mains has been stopped focusing only about writing and answers and they are evaluating. Mains is all about writing opinions. Mains means opinions. They are asking you opinions, and that is the reason why you see in mains, in UPSC, more often than not, you only see open-ended questions. Is caste static or dynamic? Is caste static or dynamics? Do you see in India regionalism is a threat to national security? Do you see cultural diversity is declining in India? Do you see globalization is negatively impacting Indian society? Last year there was a question. Globalization is trying to promote too much consumerism. This is nothing but open-ended questions. These are nothing but even in essay there is open-ended questions. Everywhere there is open-ended questions. For an open-ended questions, for your opinions, the tone, the language is very much important. That will not come in one day. So these are the general instructions which you have to focus. These are the first things which I wanted to discuss with respect to mains. I think if at all some other faculty have discussed this, it's okay. But if someone has missed it, these are the areas which you have to focus. Now we will jump to our society. Now in our society syllabus, what is the syllabus? You have salient features of Indian society. Every year there would be a question. The weightage of marks with respect to salient features is increasing. Okay, that is what I said. No, in UPSC society only once or twice I have seen a question in UPSC which were bouncers in society. Bouncers ante no one knows those words. There was a question on obscurantism. Okay, so no one knows what is obscurantism. That is also from salient features of Indian society. So like obscurantism, when you were talking about obscurantism, this after UPSC asked a question on obscurantism, then impacting Indian society, everyone was saying that yes, this is also a logical expansion of Indian society, salient features of Indian society. But in today's class, I am not going to fit in by force the logical extension. We will strict and we will try to expand the syllabus. First we will understand the syllabus, we will expand the syllabus logically. We will not try to fit in. Obscurantism రాగానే అందరూ లేదు మా క్లాస్లో మేము చెప్పేసాం. They tried to fit in. No, we will not try to fit in. We will try to logically look what type of questions might be asked, what might be the prospective areas. So we will talk about the syllabus, we will try to expand the syllabus, we will look into prospective areas, and every time when I am discussing about the syllabus, I will try to tell you what to be studied. And very important, in this class I will tell you how much to study, where to stop. Don't study society more than 3 days. Don't give time to Indian society more than 20 hours. You have very limited hours. Don't give more than 20 hours. In this 20 hours, how to study, what to study, that I will discuss. Okay. Now, when we are talking about first areas, salient features of Indian society, in salient features, try to look into previous year questions. When previous year questions, I will discuss the previous year questions. They try to ask, UPSC try to ask about how India is trying to promote unity in diversity. What are the factors which is affecting India's unity in diversity? What are the factors which is contributing to India's unity in diversity? So, in this topic, the contemporary trends which is emerging, what can be the prospective logical extension to this syllabus? Okay, that we will try to discuss. So, in this India's salient features to Indian society, first thing we have to understand all the keywords which is mentioned in the syllabus. Like first you have to understand what is unity in diversity. Okay, in salient features of Indian society, try to focus on keywords. Like first you have to understand what is diversity. You have to understand what is unity. You have to understand unity in diversity. You know, diversity means variety. In India, there are variety of cultures. When you are talking about unity in India, when we are talking about unity, in India we have unity amidst there is no uniformity. In India, there is no uniformity. There is no uniform language, there is no uniform religion, there is no uniform culture. There are varieties of cultures. There is a varieties of cultures, but how unity is being maintained. So in India, we see unity is being maintained. Although we don't have uniformity, one of the key feature of Indian society is unity of India amidst lack of uniformity. Once you get this understanding, what is diversity? Diversity is not difference. Diversity is collective difference. What is collective difference? Collectively, Telugu people are somewhat different from people speaking Tamil. Okay, that is what we have, collective difference. We don't have difference. This is what I am trying to say. Conceptual clarity. If you get this type of conceptual clarity to every word, they will only ask how this concept is impacting Indian society. Extension, tomorrow there might be a question like define diversity and tell me what are the 5 diverse aspects of Indian society which is unique for India to sustain its diversity. Because there was a question already been asked. They asked about cultural diversity. They asked about what are the major diverse factors which are unique to Indian society. You understand my point? So that is what I am trying to say. First and foremost, topics which are mentioned in the syllabus, conceptual clarity is important. Then you try to elaborate what type of questions might be asked. So first you have to understand diversity, then you have to understand unity. Once you understood diversity and unity, diversity is not differences, diversity is collective differences, unity is not because of uniformity, unity is in India. That is the reason why you see Durkheim talked about mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity. Durkheim said that mechanical solidarity is when everyone is following rules, when everyone is preparing for mains, automatically you will be united. Okay, your goal, your aspiration is same. Where is the contradictory views? But in India, there are contradictory views, but still we see unity is being promoted. That is the reason why unity is also a salient feature. Unity is also a salient feature. What is salient feature? Unique features. Then we will talk about unity in diversity. So when unity in diversity is amidst this much diversity, amidst lack of uniformity in India, unity in diversity is being promoted. Then there might be a question that what are the factors which is contributing to unity in diversity? Geographical factors, historical factors. Okay, how constitution has promoted unity in diversity, how Sanatana Dharma, the elastic nature of Hinduism, has promoted unity in diversity. Many people don't know what Sanatana Dharma means. Many people don't know the many people don't know the attributes of Indian religion. Many people don't understand Hinduism properly. But in Indian society, when we are studying about Indian society, you have to understand what does Sanatana Dharma mean. What is the how Sanatana Dharma is a faith of religions. It is Sanatana Dharma itself is a federation of faiths. Means within Sanatana Dharma there are so many faiths. Shaivism, Vaishnavism. Within this Sanatana Dharma there is a federation of faiths. So this is how when you talk about religion being salient feature, when you are talking about religious diversity, you have to talk about this. How Sanatana Dharma promoted flexibility, how Sanatana Dharma promoted tolerance. Okay, one of the defining factors of unity in diversity is tolerance. One of the defining factor of unity in diversity is pluralism. If in India, unity in diversity is being promoted, only reason why in India unity in diversity is being promoted is because of pluralism. Pluralism is a vehicle which is being used to promote unity in diversity in Indian society. So this level of conceptual clarity, if you get, you no need to read anything about society. you have to understand when you are talking about pluralism. Tomorrow there might be a question on pluralism. Define pluralism. How pluralism is impacting Indian society. Pluralism. What is pluralism? Simple. Don't never try to memorize definitions. Try to understand what does pluralism mean. Pluralism means, you know, what is pluralism? Multiple religions are living, multiple cultures are there. Means nothing but pluralism is that type of ideology which promotes, which accommodate multiple faiths, multiple beliefs. And pluralism is such type of thought process. Pluralistic society is that society which will not treat one religion or one caste or one entity, one individual powerful compared to other group of people. It treats everyone equally. Marginalized communities will not feel discriminated. Everyone will be given equal importance. Everyone will have equal opportunities. That is what is pluralistic society. So when you talk about salient features, that's it. There is nothing else you have to understand with respect to salient features. Next, when you are talking about cultural diversity, because cultural diversity is one theme which has been repeatedly asked. Okay, in cultural diversity you have to understand what is cultural, what is culture, what do you understand by culture? Culture is way of life when everyone is having equal thought process, following equal beliefs. Okay, so culture is way of life. So you have to understand what is culture, you have to understand what type of cultural diversity is being promoted. In India, what type of cultural diversity is being promoted? In India, we call that Indian cultural diversity is mosaic model of cultural diversity, where different cultures coexisted together, and all the cultures together is giving a beauty to Indian society. That you have to understand. In cultural diversity, you have to understand the concept called what is assimilation. Okay, what is assimilation? What is assimilation tendency? Okay, next, what is accommodating tendencies? That much level of understanding with respect to core concepts of society is very much important. So this is how you have to see. So salient features of Indian society and diversity of India, if you understand these core concepts, this is needed. Now coming to the threats with respect to fact, what are the threats which India is facing? India's unity in diversity is going to be faced. There you will come about regionalism, communalism. So that is nothing but your extension of your syllabus. So we have to talk about regionalism. Now, when you are talking about regionalism, how you have to understand regionalism? Then what is regionalism? Regionalism is nothing but you are thinking that your region is superior. You are having a parochial mindset. Parochial mindset is very narrow mindset, thinking that your region is superior. So that is regionalism. But do regionalism only promotes what are, do we have perks, do we have advantages with respect to regionalism? What are the advantages and disadvantages of regionalism? That you have to know. What are the advantages of regionalism? In India, because of regionalism only, local aspirations got accommodated. Local states autonomy has been promoted within this federal nation. Okay, we see local aspirations got fulfilled. Coalition politics have tried to emphasize on fulfilling the demands of local aspirations. And how regionalism can be a threat to India's unity in diversity? Because if regionalism, too much regionalism, son of the soil movement. Now what we are doing is, these are all the basics. Now try to link with the contemporary issues. From this area, what type of questions can be asked? First question can be asked is about three-language debate. From past 3-4 years, three-language debate is emerging. So they can talk about how the debate of three-language can be a threat to, does it become a threat to India's unity in diversity or not? You have to write 2 points. Okay, so that is how first you get the proper understanding of the syllabus, then you can link with contemporary issues. Okay, so then you can talk about three-language debate. Then you can talk about, recently 5 classical languages was given, 5 languages were given classical language status. You know, classical language, from classical language also there might be a question. What can be the prospective question from language? You think? We are talking about salient features. Linguistic diversity is also one of the salient feature. What can be the prospective? That is what I am saying. What I am trying to do is how to use the syllabus in predict what type of questions you have. We are not going for too much, we are not fitting in. We are trying to logically extend. From language diversity, from linguistic diversity, what can be the prospective questions? From linguistic diversity, what can be the prospective questions? One is debate on 3 language. Okay, why I am not going into the debate? It will take 15 to 20 minutes and we will not spend time. In our regular classes, we will discuss. How our classes are going to be also, I will show. Next, what can be the prospective? One is classical language. You know, classical language, in India, there might be a question. In India, granting classical language status, has it become a tool of politics? You know, why I am talking about it is, classical languages was announced last year, just before the elections in the states. Bengal has been granted classical language status. Maharashtra, Marathi has been granted classical language status. Okay, Pali, Prakrit and Assami. So wherever there was a political elections were there, classical language has been joined. But this is too little, you cannot write more. So I don't think this can be a prospective. But broadly you can see language related questions. Broadly they can ask. What can be the broadly language related questions is, what are the measures Government of India is taking to protect mother tongue? Nowadays there is so much debate which is going with respect to protecting mother tongue. All over the world, the debate is happening about indigenous languages. Now, can we not talk about this in a broader context of India? In the broader context of India is, what type of measures can be taken by Government of India? Why do you think that mother tongue, many languages are becoming extinct? What can be the measures? So this is how broadly from salient features of Indian societies, logically you can extend and look for prospective questions. Definitely mother tongue is one question, because recently you see Rajasthan Chief Minister has given a statement about mother tongue, and on the floor of Assembly of Telangana, Revant Reddy talked about implementation of primary education. You know, directive principles of state policies. There are 3 directive principles which are not included in part 4 of Indian Constitution. One is about promoting Hindi promoting Hindi. Next is promoting primary education in mother tongue. Third is promoting welfare measures for SCs. You understand my point? So this can be a question in such area, because it is also a directive principle promoting mother tongue. Are we, do you see, am I going overboard to syllabus? No. Are we strictly to syllabus? We are restricting strictly to syllabus, but we are only doing proper analysis. What can be the prospective questions? So linguistic diversity, that can be a question. Classical languages, that can be a question. With respect to classical languages also, one point which I wanted to add, you know, classical languages has been allotted. Now we have so many classical languages, but even though in India we have given a classical language status, we see the discrimination with respect to classical languages. Central government has established the autonomous institution to promote Tamil language, but there is no autonomy to promote Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam and Odia. So there is a central university central institute to promote Tamil, but there is no central institute to promote other classical languages. Like there are some regional centers to promote language, but these regional centers don't have autonomy. So you have promoted, you have given them classical language, but you are not giving them autonomy to promote that language. That is also a debate. So this is how you have to look into the syllabus, and you have to look into go for extension. So this is what I think with respect to salient features, how you have to look into the syllabus, what you have to focus. So my emphasis is very simple. Look all the keywords in the syllabus, prepare a introduction and prepare a conclusion, and gather 4 to 5 points for these points. That's it. If you prepare in that way, hardly it will take 40 pages, and in these 40 pages you will have all the content to write mains answer. Okay, so first part of the syllabus is salient features of Indian society, diversity of India. Next we will be talking about women, population, poverty, developmental issues, and urbanization. Sir, although salient features is being asked more questions, next in some years this section of society syllabus garnered more weightage, especially in 2022, and every year, for that matter, every year you cannot see a question paper in mains without talking about women related issues. So women related issues are utmost important. Definitely you will see a question with respect to women related issues. So women related issues are very much important. When we are talking about women, tell me what all the areas you have to focus. We are talking about women. When we are talking about women, what are the areas you have to focus is, first point is, education. Broadly, we will discuss not particular issue, we will talk about broader issues. We will be talking about women empowerment. Next, violence against women. This year violence against women is going to get more weightage. Definitely there will be a question on violence against women, because you see 3 dowry related deaths recently is shaking the world from past 3-4 months. So now what to understand, and looking at the current contemporary issues, current affairs, what is more important is, there was a time where UPSC asked salient features of Act. So this year salient features of Dowry Prohibition Act will become more important. Salient features of Domestic Violence Act will become more important. Salient features of Dowry Prohibition Act, very simple. They defined what is Dowry Prohibition Act. Act defined Dowry Prohibition Act defined what is dowry. Then it applied, like if someone is demanding dowry, what type of legal recourse you can take. When you are being accused of dowry, the case will become very important: non-bailable, non-compoundable, and it is going to become these factors, legal factors, the keywords which is there in the salient features you have to write. You should not write when they ask about salient features of Dowry Prohibition Act. Salient features include those measures taken by government to stop dowry. You have to look into what are the salient features, what are the legal measures which has been taken, and what are the protection orders when it comes to Domestic Violence Act, Prevention of Domestic Violence Act. This first we will talk about dowry, then we will talk about domestic violence. So first of all, they define what is dowry, then define what are the provisions, legal provisions which is available, and the case is going to be, the burden of proof of dowry case is on the accused. This is very key provisions. What are the key provisions? It is non-bailable offense, non-compoundable offense. You know what is non-bailable and non-compoundable? And it is going to be a cognizable offense. Cognizable offense means murder is a cognizable offense, rape is a cognizable offense, means for serious cases you are being charged under cognizable offense. So these keywords are very much important. Non-compoundable means once a case is registered against you on dowry, the case have to be resolved in court. Property Act will be compoundable, means you can, a brother has filed a case on property sharing. You can say to the court that we will negotiate, but it is non-compoundable. Entire legal procedure, entire trail have to go on. These are the salient features of Dowry Prohibition Act. Don't go for exaggeration which is shown in the thing. Yes, dowry deaths is a reality. We need not to go into investigation of what are the cases. We need to look into prospective questions from UPSC. So next, burden of proof. Burden of proof is on accused. Accused have to prove that I haven't taken dowry. So these are the salient features. There are special officers which are being appointed to look into dowry. Okay, so these are the salient features. Now when it comes to Domestic Violence Act, what are the salient features? Domestic violence has made gender neutral, means anyone, earlier domestic violence, earlier thought that what is domestic violence? Husband beating wife. But what we have seen is, it is not only husband, it is husband's brother, husband's mother, husband's sister. So anyone can be charged under domestic violence. Very important. So Domestic Violence Act has become gender neutral, and the woman, the victim has been, they have given a broader definition of woman. Woman includes not only married woman, but also sister, mother, daughter, and also divorced wife, and also live-in relationship couple. This is what is called as an focusing on salient features. Read salient features. I will show you questions. They asked about, write down the salient features of this act. Now when you look at the newspaper, every year you see domestic and dowry prohibition related cases are going on. Don't you see these issues will become more important? Okay, so write down about salient features, study about those salient features. Next, not only they can ask about salient features, they can ask about critically evaluate this act, means you have to write about limitations with respect to this act. Despite Domestic Violence Act, why domestic violence is increasing in India? Okay, that is where this broader violence against women provisions are needed. Now when we talk about violence against women, why violence against women is increasing despite legal measures? What you will write? In particularly with respect to Dowry Prohibition Act, you have to write about Dowry Prohibition Act, means nothing but it is not implemented effectively, awareness is not there, that you have to write. But when it comes to particularly with respect to Domestic Violence Act, what is the major loophole with respect to Domestic Violence Act in India? What is the major loophole? The major loophole is marital rape is not included in. Marital rape is not included. Marital rape is also domestic violence, right? Sexual assault is also domestic violence. So that you have to write. Are you understanding? Features, you have to be clear. Criticism, you have to be ready. That's it. When you what to study, now you got a template. When you are studying violence against women, because in 2000, before 3 or 4 years, Supreme Court has given a judgment that even in Supreme Court, we have seen the practice of stereotyping women. What is stereotyping? Stereotyping means you are promoting a prejudice. What is stereotyping? You are చెప్పండి స్టీరియోటైపింగ్ అంటే ఏంటి? స్టీరియోటైపింగ్ అంటే సింపుల్ థింగ్ ఏంటి అంటే sexual division of labor. This work have to be done by women. Domestic work have to be done by women. That is stereotyping. Household, what you see, When we talk about if a woman who is not working, what do you say? We will say her as an homemaker. Okay, but why can't men be a homemaker? Okay, that is the reason why this type of stereotyping. Earlier there were words like prostitute, there were some words which are being used in India. Officially Supreme Court was using a terminologies which was stereotyping women. Supreme Court has gave a judgment and Supreme Court has given a dictionary to remove those words and give new words, gender neutral words. So that can be a prospective questions. So stereotyping is also one of the reasons for violence against women. Next, patriarchy is also one of the reasons for violence against women. You have to understand what is patriarchy. Domination of men over women. Sylvia Walby, feminist sociologist, defined patriarchy as domination of men over women. Patriarchy is one of the reason. Stereotyping is one of the reason. Next, ineffective implementation of laws is one of the reason. Next, sexual division of labor is one of the reason. Next, inka violence against women cheppandi. Ivi violence against women. Point is, what you see, reproduction of social labor is one word which is very much important. What do you understand by reproduction of social labor? Woman thinks that they are subordinate. Woman thinks that men are to be dominated. Men are superior. This type of thought process should be changed. Lack of awareness, lack of means to exert their rights. So you have to understand, first of all, in violence first what you have to understand, what is violence against women, what are the reasons why violence against women is increasing. Next, what are the measures to address violence against women? Why in India, despite so many legal measures, why violence against women is increasing? That's it. 4 templates you have to study for violence against women, done and dusted. Violence against women ఎక్కువ ఫోకస్ చేయాల్సింది ఎందుకు ఈ ఇయర్ అంటే ఈ 2 కేసెస్ న్యూస్ లో ఎక్కువ ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఫోకస్ ఆన్ డౌరీ, యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఫోకస్ ఆన్ డొమెస్టిక్ వైలెన్స్. Simple. Next, in women related issues, what other issues what you have to discuss? Women empowerment. Next, you have to focus on unpaid labor. This is one prospective area, women related. What is unpaid labor? The work which is done by mothers at home, are not being paid. So you have to understand what are the advantages, what are the advantages by recognizing labor of women. What are the disadvantages? Cheppandi, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages? Advantages is by recognizing, by economically recognizing by economically recognizing the work done by women. What are the advantages? Definitely their labor will be recognized, their work will be recognized, okay, their contribution to the society will be recognized, okay. So what are the advantages of unpaid work? What are the disadvantages? What are the disadvantages of economically recognizing the labor of women done at household? What are the disadvantages? Don't you think when we recognize, for suppose the work which is done by women, you are saying that mother have done this much work and we need to pay half the salary of father. Clearly, by doing this, what is happening is we are in a way trying to promote sexual division of labor. Tomorrow this work will be termed as a work of women. Are you getting this point? So these are the disadvantages. Ardhamainda? So you have to look into both the points, both the sides. So unpaid work, you have to look into these dimensions. Okay, try to include one or two thinkers wherever necessary, feminist views. Okay, so unpaid labor. Next, women related issues, what can be the prospective questions? Inka nutrition, lack of nutrition amongst women, that is one. Health is one aspect. Next, economically, feminization of agriculture. Sir, ippadi varaku raledu. This is very important area. Like what I have seen in, why I am talking about this, why I am emphasizing on this feminization of labor, feminization of agriculture sector. Why I am focusing is society questions, they are not asking purely society. Last year also you see society, they linked with world history, they linked with post independence India. So feminization of agriculture is also one of the prospective area. What is feminization of agriculture? Women, we see increasing percentage of women in agriculture. Why? Men are been migrating to urban areas and women don't have the necessary skills, take up skill based jobs. That is the reason why they are doing this, they are employed as agriculture labor. And what are the problems women would face working in agriculture field? They don't have decision making, they are victim of fertilizers. That is the reason why cancer, women are worst affected. Okay, environment, you also see any change in environment, environmental degradation is first impacting women. The first victims of environment degradation is women, because if you are using pesticides, the vegetables would be cleaned by mother. Okay, she would be the first victim. So you have to look into these dimensions. Feminization of agriculture. Why? What are the reasons for feminization of agriculture? Because of feminization of agriculture, what are the problems women are facing? And in all these topics, gurtupettukondi, way forward is very much important. You need to have a solution. Feminization of agriculture is increasing. This is a reality, because in agriculture 80% of the workforce is women. Agriculture laborers 100 unte 80 members are women. So what is the way forward? The machines which has been operated in agriculture field, harvesters unte judandi, those are not women friendly. Agriculture equipments are not women friendly. So we have to make those infrastructure, agriculture infrastructure, women friendly. Government policies should become women friendly. What can be the way forward with respect to feminization of agriculture sector? First of all, way forward kaakunda, according to you, what are the problems women face in agriculture sector working as agriculture labor? Agriculture works are being done by women. Because 80% of the workers are women. What are the problems they are facing? Lower wages than men, discrimination, decision making power is not there. Next, most important, they don't have property rights, they don't have land rights. Land is owned by men, but land is tilled by women. If she want any inputs, agriculture inputs are important, loans are important, agriculture credit is important. She cannot access credit because the property is being owned by men. Husband is in city doing other occupation. So agriculture credit accessibility has to be there. Women have to become the co-proprietor. That is very much important. Way forward ela rayali ardhamavutunda? See, I'm expecting, the reason why I'm going fast is because this is mains program. I cannot explain every point in clear, but I'm giving you insights what can be the prospective areas. So this is how you have to focus on feminization of agriculture. In way forward also you can write about promoting like not only traditional, you have to promote organic agriculture, organic farming have to be promoted, because when organic farming is promoted, the income will be increased. At the end of the day, 80% women are working in agriculture labor. How to empower them? You can empower them by making them economically powerful. Agriculture wages have to be increased. decision making power have to be increased, and they should get more revenue. They should get more income. How you have to see how diversification of income for women. When can that diversification happen? Organic farming should be promoted. Next, along with purely agriculture, traditional agriculture, you have to promote animal husbandry, and you have to promote beekeeping is one remunerative agriculture. These all have to be done. So you have to try to promote this type of agriculture. Okay, so crop diversification can be emphasized. All these things, women have to be aware. Women have to be decision makers. So these have to be promoted. Now you understood feminization of agriculture. Next, with women, what are the other problems? Feminization of old age. Another problem is feminization of old age. Aged people లలో ఎక్కువ మంది ఎవరున్నారు? Women. తాతలు తొందర పుట్టుకంటున్నారు తాగి తాగి. ఏం చేస్తాం? ఓకే, ఫెమినైజేషన్ ఆఫ్ old age. This is prospective area. Now, old age, silver economy, elderly population related we'll discuss. That is what we call as a silver economy. Okay, so you have to understand, silver economy means economy which have to be promoted, economy which have to be developed such that older people, elderly population should not only be treated as what you say passive recipient of government benefits, but active participants. See, every old person is not facing health issue. There are so many people who are retired, but they are active to contribute to the economy. But unfortunately, our economy is not taking those inputs. They can, if at all, my father is retired as a government principal. Okay, junior college. Now, don't you think my father can be recruited by government to train the budding teachers, because he has a vast experience of 30 years. There is a retired pilot. If at all he is not fit to drive, but he might be sharing his insights. So, silver economy, old age related problems are there, old age related solutions are there. That economy should consider them. First of all, government should consider them that they are not merely passive recipient. I am not saying that we should not promote insurance, we should not give benefits. Yes, we should give that, but we should make them active participants in economy. That is what has been focused by silver economy. So that are the broader problems with respect to old age. But particularly, what is the peculiar problem with respect to women is in old age, elderly population. We see increase. First of all, we are seeing increasing elderly population. In increasing elderly population, majorly we see women population is increasing. Because now, why this is a concern? Why this is a concern is women are economically dependent on men. Women don't have ownership rights. Father చనిపోగానే ప్రాపర్టీ రైట్స్ అందరూ ఎవరు తీసుకుంటారు? Sons. That is the reason why you see Hindu Succession Act has been amended. That also you have to include here. Are you understanding how to link? Sir, how much diversity you can bring into your answer? That much marks you would get. Society is one area. Let me tell you, society is one area. Everyone thinks they have written better answers. Unfortunately, you won't realize that you have not written better answers because you are not bringing diversity to the table. Are you getting the insights how to bring diversity to the table? Feminization of old age, you have to discuss. And why this is very much important, more than this topic, this is why it is very much important, is recently first state in India, Kerala government has, what happened? They have introduced a unique budgeting system. The share of older populations in the Kerala population, to their equal percentage of budget has been allocated. We talked about gender neutral budget. Now we are talking about old age friendly budget. Kerala is the first state which is having highest elderly population. So Kerala government has introduced in the budget, if there are 21% of the older population, they are saying that they will announce 21% of total state budget to older populations. Now this is it not important? Elderly population debate is very much important, and feminization of old age debate is also very much important. Next, last topic, there are so many women related, meeku ippudu idea vachindi. Women related, another important topic is legal terrorism. There is a new word which we are seeing with respect to women. This is legal terrorism. What is legal terrorism? Legal terrorism means women misusing the law and exploiting men. That is also one topic which you have to understand. Okay, so legal terrorism is one which nowadays we are seeing, because Sudhanshu case, he was exploited by his wife and parents. He was not allowed to visit his children, his son. So under that context, legal terrorism is also one concept which you have to look forward. So broadly, you have to look into women related issues, these things. That's it. So, and women organizations is one important topic. Women organization is how women have to be consolidated to get more access to resources. Women movements, feminist movements. Okay. So although women organizations is not mentioned in the syllabus, but legal extension you can go look for it. In 21st century, there might be a question. In 21st century, what might be the prospective ideal women movements such that women become equal shareholders in politics and all? So there you can try to bring about 106 constitutional amendment, all these aspects. Okay, so these are the broadly you have to look into women related issues. Population related issues, చాలా మంది పాపులేషన్ ఇగ్నోర్ చేస్తారు. అందువల్ల యూపీఎస్సీ ఏం అడిగింది అంటే, అండర్ పాపులేషన్ not 2024 I guess they asked about a concept called demographic winter. What do you understand by demographic winter? Declining fertility rates. Declining fertility rates is very important concept, because total fertility rate, ideal total fertility rate should be 2.1 total fertility rate. What is replacement level fertility rate? Total fertility rate and replacement level fertility rate means, in India, if there are 140 population, how much a couple on an average, all the couples should reproduce such that the population would stabilize. It will not be overpopulated, but it will be stabilized. You see, as this was not focused by China, now you see old age population is there. So the ideal fertility rate should be 2.1. But in many countries, fertility rate is declining. In India also, National Family Health Survey 5 said that fertility rate in India is 2.1, means ideal kana takku undi kada. So tomorrow there might be a question on this aspect. This is, are you understanding, logical extension only, because there was a question which is been asked. Logical extension is their topics on total fertility rate. In India, should we be concerned about fertility rate? Declining fertility rate, should India be a concern? But actually in India there was so many debates. Newspaper articles also said that actually declining fertility rate in India is not a major concern, unlike Western countries, because in India declining fertility rate is attached with economy. If economy improves, couples will automatically go for more children. So it is just because of economic factors. Okay, you have to look into social economic factors also. Here you can bring the concept of marriage, new forms of marriage, new forms of families. There is a concept called dink families, double income, no kids, that can also be brought and linked. Why? There might be a question on what are the reasons why dink families are increasing. There might be a question on changing patterns of family. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, ఏ టాపిక్ చదివినా Change అనేది so much important. Marriage, how marriage is changing. Caste system, how caste system is changing. How family is changing. What are the new forms of marriage? What are the new forms of family? In new forms of family, you have to talk about dink families. You have to talk about disc families. Double income, single kid. Next, in family, you have to talk about living apart families. You have to talk about conjugal symmetrical families. What is conjugal symmetrical families? Families where both earlier they were patriarchal families. Father was the breadwinner. Now conjugal symmetrical families. Conjugal and marriage alliance. Conjugal symmetrical families is in the alliance of marriage we see two centers of power. Earlier who was the center of power? Father. So this changing patterns of marriage you have to talk about, changing patterns of family you have to talk about, then you have to talk about living relationship. Okay, Assam government recently brought uniform civil code. So uniform civil code will become more important. In uniform civil code, everyone is talking about living relationship. Living relationships will be very important. What are the reasons why living relationship is increasing? What are the problems with respect to living relationship? Okay, so this is how you have to talk about population. In population, next total fertility rate is one thing, and then you can also talk about in population you have to standard population related standard. What is Malthusian theory of population? Standard theories, 2-3 concepts unnai. What is Malthusian theory? That you have to focus and try to link with contemporary trends. Majorly with population you have to look into this fertility dimension and changing population trends. In population, next definitely you have to look into this aspect also. In India, employment is not the issue. Employability is the issue. Employment got problem. Employability is a problem. Skills, how to make this population skilled, that is what we are talking about, demographic dividend. So that debate, if you look, more than enough. Okay, next. In women related issues, one thing which I wanted to talk about is, J. Jaitley committee was appointed. Should we increase the age of marriage for women to till 21 or not? Please look into that. Okay, what do you think? Should we increase it to 21 or not? That is what I am saying, you have to write balanced answer. Many women's associations, women organizations are protesting that marriage age for women should not be increased from 18 to 21. It is not unanimous yes. This type of questions will be trapped. It clearly shows that you don't have an idea about society. Why do you think that we should not increase age of marriage from 18 to 21? Why women's associations are protesting? Yes, everyone will say, sir, if at all it increases age, career will be built, education level, nutrition levels berutai, their career will be boosted. What are the factors which is contributing? What are the views which are against this? See, if 18 years, if marriage age is increased till 21 years, means the legal age of marriage is 21 years. If she is married below 20 years, that marriage will become illegal. Same the issue which is happening with POXO case. Before 18 years, if children are involving in intimate relationship, rape charges are being done. So till 21 years, the rights on women will be exercised by whom? Family. That is the reason why many women don't want the control of women, control of family on women marriage rights or her bodily rights given to family. That is the reason why they are opposing. So that's what I am saying, there are broader issues. ఇవే వస్తాయి, నేను చెప్తున్నాను చూడండి, there is no rocket science. This is purely rational and logical way to prepare. Okay, so you can look into that debate also. Next, population. ఇంకేముంది తొందరగా, టైం ఎంత అయింది? 11:10. Okay, next, developmental issues, urbanization. Developmental issues and urbanization. I forgot to mention about caste system and Caste system. What can be the prospective questions with respect to caste system? Caste system. Chapani, what are the prospective questions with respect to caste system? Caste census is happening for the first time in India. For the first time in independent India, we are introducing caste census. This will become a core point of debate. So you need to study about caste census. You need to study about caste census. Why India need caste census? That you need to understand. What are the advantages of caste census? What are the disadvantages of caste census? And critical evaluation of caste census. What is the critical evaluation of caste census? Caste census announce avangane social justice is upheld, social equity is promoted. When will social equity will be promoted is when just by announcing caste census, social equity is not promoted. When caste census is implemented impartially, when caste census is promoted, is effectively implemented with transparency and accountability, means nothing but when fair and transparent caste census happens, then only we can say that in India social equity will be promoted. So just by announcing caste census, social equity will not be promoted. We need to emphasize on fair and transparent caste census, because at the end of the day, caste census is all about data. If you manipulate data, what happens? Everyone knows in India why till 21st century, till 2024, caste census was not announced, because everyone knows that upper caste have the hegemony. The most pampered minority in India, is upper caste, and caste census will disclose this, because Muslims are not pampered, minority Hindus are not pampered minorities are upper caste. Caste census will disclose that. This is how you have to write critically. Now the power is in the control of upper caste, central or state. Chudandi, do you expect fair caste census? So that you have to write. That is what is critical evaluation. Done and dusted, simple. So caste census, you understood? Next, subcategorization is the thing. You know, Telangana government became the first state to subcategorize SC. So you have to look into the debate of subcategorization. Okay, so caste census, subcategorization, and identity politics, especially with respect to assertion of Dalit identity, Dalit capitalism, okay, subaltern movements. That is the reason why last year they asked about Jyotiba Phule and subaltern classes. What is subaltern movement? What is subaltern ideology? Subaltern ideology is an ideology which is giving scope for marginalized sections to grow, putting the limelight into marginalized sections, giving importance to Dalit literature, giving importance to Dalit iconography, Buddha images, Ambedkar images, blue color. You understand my point? So that identity politics need to be focused. And for that matter, you know, Dalit politics, Dalit movements, Dalit mobilization is very important. First of all, you have to understand what is Dalit. Then you have to focus on these aspects and how Dalit mobilizations, earlier Dalit mobilization, is Dalit mobilization all India phenomena, or is Dalit run only happening in urban areas? Is Dalit mobilization only happening in rural areas? That also you have to look. And next, increasing, then next there might be a intersection between urbanization and Dalit movements. Is Ambedkar said that if India becomes urbanized, caste inequalities will be reduced. Did it in reality reflected that? No. In urban areas also, we see Dalits are being secluded. That is what we call as in slums. In slums, 90% of the population are from marginalized sections. That is what I am saying to know. They are not looking for narrow view. They are looking for broader view. Emphasize. First నేను చెప్తున్నాను చూడండి, GS1 పేపర్ మీకు క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ ఇవ్వగానే క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్ మీద రాసుకోండి. Answers should be diversified. How much you bring diversity to the table, that much remunerative, that much marks you are going to get. So link all these points. Okay, cash movements. Next, what is Dalit capitalism? In 2014 to 16, 17, they asked Dalit capitalism 2 times. Next, caste related, what type of questions will be there? Traditional questions was, is caste static or caste dynamic? That you know, caste is static yet dynamic, because caste based identity politics are happening, caste based economic movements are happening. Dalit capitalism is economic awareness amongst Dalits. So that you have to write. So you have to write a balance. So గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, caste static and caste dynamic is the most repeated theme. Most repeated themes మీరు ఏం చేయాలి, స్టాండర్డ్ ఆన్సర్ రాసుకొని పెట్టాలి. And society is the only area where you can write 10 mark answer or 15 marks answer or 20 marks answer in time. ఎందుకంటే క్వశ్చన్స్ విల్ బి ప్రెడిక్టబుల్. రిపీటెడ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ వస్తున్నాయి. రిపీటెడ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ కి నీ దగ్గర ప్రాపర్ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్ ఉందనుకోండి, అయిపోయింది కదా. యు నో నీడ్ టు బ్రెయిన్ స్టార్మ్. ఓకే, సో caste, tribes, development, tribes related. What is tribal identity? Why in India definition of tribe? Okay, why in India tribes? Okay, definitional problems of tribes. Definitional problem of tribes. Next, in tribes every year there is a question on displacement and rehabilitation. Development induced displacement. Who are the worst and first victims? Tribes. Construction of dams. Who are the victims? Tribes. Tribes is one community in India who are ready to sacrifice anything after the people of Punjab. Who are ready to sacrifice anything, but unfortunately government is not rehabilitating properly. So development induced displacement, rehabilitation. Okay, victims of development. From this aspect questions are being asked. Next, what are the policy approaches towards tribes? What is policy of isolation? What is policy of assimilation? And what is policy of integration? Policy of isolation was given by Verrier Elvin. Gurtunda? Tribes law, policy of isolation. Okay, what is the policy approach towards tribes? Policy of isolation given by Verrier Elvin. Policy of assimilation G.S. Gurye. Next, policy of integration given by Nehru. This is what we call as a tribal Panchashil. Tribal Panchashil. So tribal Panchashil will be a prospective questions. Why I am saying about these tribes is, Great Nicobar project news lo unda leda? Great Nicobar project related debate jarutunda leda? So definitely there will be a question on what should be the proper policy with respect to tribal development, how to promote tribal autonomy. 5th schedule, 6th schedule will be a prospective area. Next, Kaka committee remote, Kaka committee. Okay, next, recently Majal denotified tribes adundi. Okay, so that debate is very much important. So like who are denotified tribes? Okay, and very important with respect to tribes is Forest Rights Act. Forest Rights Act is so much in the news. So they will ask about salient features of Forest Rights Act. Okay, they will ask about salient features of Forest Rights Act. So this is how you have to look into tribes. Actually time is running out, that is the reason why I am not spending that much time on these things, but broadly you have understood these are the core areas which you have to focus. So tribes, next development you have discussed. Okay, next now we will be focusing on poverty. Poverty is one area which we did not discuss. Poverty you have to understand. Don't write. Why I want to particularly discuss about poverty is, don't write economic definition of poverty here. Don't write economic aspects of poverty here. Don't bring, I am not saying that, sir, don't write such, what you say, such a Tendulkar line or other committees which has been appointed. No, you can use it, but more focus on how lack of calories from the limelight of socio-economic perspective, social perspectives. Okay, how there are certain social aspects which is trying to, which social aspect which is promoting poverty. For suppose you see women are being forced to fast, and that is the reason why lack of nutrition in women, you have to write that. Next, in poverty also, just don't stick to economic dimensions of poverty, write a broader definition of poverty, include digital poverty, urban, rural urban divide, okay, lack of urban facilities in rural areas. What is that? Poverty is not just not able to access benefits, okay, bring that dimension. Next, try to bring poverty in, write this broader definition in context of elderly population also. Elderly population are also facing a type of poverty. What is that? Traditionally they were decision makers. They have the authority. Now their authority has been deprived. The lack of digital access. You have every facility, but you are not able to access. So this type of poverty you have to write. And when you are talking about minorities also, don't only write about religious minorities. In minorities, what else you have to write? Linguistic minorities. Next, sexual minorities. Here I am talking about another important topic recently with respect to sexual minorities. Poverty you understood? Next, when you are talking about, I forgot to mention this, sexual minorities. Recently there is a debate with respect to right to marriage for same sex couples. Okay, now this is a debate. Supreme Court has also said that Supreme Court did not use its opportunity to interpret the existing provisions and to provide right to marriage to same-sex couples. Okay, is right to marriage a fundamental right? In India, is right to marriage a fundamental right? No. Right to marry one's own, right to choose partner is a fundamental right, but right to marriage is not a fundamental right. You understand my point? In Shakti Vahini versus Union of India, Supreme Court said that right to an individual have the right to marry a person of his own choice. Selecting a partner is a fundamental right, but marrying is not a fundamental right. So as marrying is not a fundamental right, same-sex couples don't have the right to marriage. So this debate is also going on. So problems of sexual minorities you have to discuss. Next, not only sexual minorities, next transgenders, persons with special abilities. So problems of transgenders. Recently, you know, transgender self-identification of transgenders is an issue. That is a prospective area. Sir, are you able to brainstorm? And నేను 1 hour నుంచి మాట్లాడుతున్నాను, but at the end of the day when you keep on writing continuous notes also, it will be roughly 4 pages. At the end of the day, I am not leaving any topic. From here only you will get questions. In these 4 pages you have taken notes. Questions are there. Questions are hidden here. All you have to read is prepare these areas. Transgenders you have to prepare, and persons with special abilities also area. So transgenders bill, in India we have national, we did not provide statutory recognitions. We need to provide a constitutional recognitions to transgenders board. Okay, that is pending. And next, persons with special abilities. In India we are increasing reservations for persons with special abilities. That is there. Okay, and right to self identification of transgenders is an important debate. Okay, so what is the provisions of this transgender bill which is controversial, that you have to understand. So that we will be, that you have to focus. Next, coming to third, I think I focus, did I miss any topic? Family, marriage, kinship. Kinship is one term which is not there in the syllabus but which is very much important. Kinship ante relatives. Okay, in kinship you have to talk about, majorly you have to look into, in kinship just look into one topic, that is Iravati Karve model of North Indian kinship and South Indian kinship. In kinship, theory on what is the difference between North Indian kinship and South Indian kinship. Okay, so what is North Indian kinship, what is South Indian kinship, how North Indian kinship is different from South Indian kinship. Sir, kinship లేదు ఎందుకు చదవమంటున్నారు అంటే, ఒకటి, let me tell you why I am asking you to read this only one particular topic is, in 10 years of UPSC papers what I have seen is, major topics of sociology optional were being asked in general studies. Sex and cults, you know, in religion we will be talking about sects and cults in religion. So this was a question every year they used to be repeated in sociology optional, that has been asked in society. So this is the most repetitive question in sociology. This might be asked in society, and yes, hardly it will be taking you 10 to 15 minutes. North Indian kinship ki South Indian kinship rough ga cheptanu chudandi. North Indian kinship lo enti ante kinship terminologies untayi chudandi. The kinship terminologies we use, peddamma, peddananna, babai, pinni, ivanni general ga untayi. In North India it will be descriptive. Descriptive means father side relatives will have unique terminologies, mother side relatives will have unique terminologies. In North India, cross cousin marriages are not there. Okay, మేనరికం పెళ్లిలు జరగవు. In South India that is there. In North India, levirate and sororate marriages are done. Levirate marriage is if husband dies, wife will marry the brother of husband. If wife dies, husband will marry the sister of wife. Such marriages are practices in North India. That is not there in South India. In North India, marriage is done to develop new types with new ties with a family. In South India, marriage is been done to strengthen the existing ties. అంటే అత్త ప్రాపర్టీ, మామ ప్రాపర్టీ గుంజుకోవడం. ఓకే, సో ఉన్న ties ని ఇంకా స్ట్రాంగ్ చేసుకోవడం. సో దట్ యు అండర్స్టూడ్. హార్డ్లీ ఇట్ విల్ బి 5 to 10 minutes of task, but we have seen that trend. What is wrong in preparing? Okay, next, religion, sex and cults is one area. Very important is religious revivalism is one topic, very important. Religious revivalism ఈ మధ్యలో ఎందుకు అంటే, నేను ఎందుకు మాట్లాడుతున్నాను అంటే, ఈ టాపిక్ ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నాను అంటే, ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ యూ రిఫరెన్సెస్ ఆల్సో వై ఐఎమ్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్. ఈవెన్ నరేంద్ర మోడీ టాక్డ్ అబౌట్ this word. What is that? Bhakti భక్తి క్లబ్స్ అనేది ఈ మధ్యలో ఎమర్జ్ అవుతుంది యూత్ లో. వాట్ ఈస్ దట్? భక్తి క్లబ్ కాదు, Bhakti club. What is his intention is, nowadays earlier youth were more into pop music and all. They used to pop club culture. Nowadays we see young generation are gathering and they are singing devotional songs. So that is becoming popular, and Narendra Modi in Mann Ki Baat emphasized on this concept. So this is an concept, this is an outcome of religious revivalism. Earlier we see that older people are more towards more devotional, more spiritual, but nowadays younger generation are also becoming devotional. Okay, this is one prospective area. Okay, so religious revivalism. Now before going to globalization, there is one topic most important I want to discuss. This is not there in the syllabus, but I am doing logical extent. Gen Z movements are there in Nepal, Sri Lanka, wherever, Bangladesh, not Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. In Sri Lanka also happened, but it did not get that much limelight. And now you see Cockroach Janata Party, India, although it is, definitely it has been a sensation. So nowadays we see younger generation or Gen Zs are becoming more aware, are asserting more rights. So recently we see NEET paper leak, CBSE issue, and these issues have become limelight because of Gen Z population. So it is a reality that in the world, it is a reality in the world that it is a reality in the world that younger generation people are becoming more aware. So you have to look into this. So these related prospective questions enti ante, first of all there might be that Gen Zs, are they more aware, are they insensitive, are they responsible? You have to write a balanced answer. Okay, with if they ask a question about Gen Z, and you have to talk about political awareness of this younger generation. And you know what younger generation only we are discussing, what is the major problem in America, what is the major social issue in America? What is the major social issue in America? There is a concept called wokeism. Wokeism is nothing but you are more aware, you are more active. Activist mentality unta chudandi. You are questioning, you are being aware, you are questioning the rights, you are questioning the government. That wokeism is increasing. This is a very broader term. Ee wokeism anedi, when you look from this perspective, it is very, sir, it is not social issue, it is a good thing. But in America what is happening is, at 13 to 14 years, when they have become sexually aware, when they know about their body, many younger generations, I am talking about adolescents, many adolescent age teenagers are going for sex change operations without proper consultation. They are thinking that they are he is male, he is thinking that I have the attribute of female. So sex change operations are happening, teenage pregnancies are happening. So adolescent issues is also one of the major problem. In the world, adolescent issues is major problem. In adolescent age only we see, what you see, rape cases amongst adolescents is increasing. Adolescent is teenagers. That is the reason why you see UK Netflix series Adolescent has become a sensation, because problems of adolescence is increasing. Broadly you can, I am talking about all these concepts, you can link with the concept of wokeism. Is wokeism good? Is wokeism bad? Okay, you understood my point. So wokeism generally is becoming aware. They are also becoming aware. In India, people are becoming sexually aware after the age of 20, 21. But in West, they are becoming sexually aware. They are experiencing sex. They are exploring sex at a very young age. That is the reason why teenage pregnancy, major problem in America is teenage pregnancy. So under this ambit, there are positive sides, there are also negative sides. Without the consultation of parents, you are going for sex change surgery. Coming back is not correct. No. What if after 2 years you feel that no, I am male only. Unfortunately, I have done sex change surgery. Okay, and teenage pregnancies, younger children are becoming, at the age of 15 they are becoming pregnant. Government is ready to take the responsibility of children, but what will happen to her career? Okay, and inkoti young generation related Gen Z movement కాదు, చాలా మందికి తెలియదు. UK government is planning to reduce the adult is planning to reduce the voting age, from 18 to 15 or 16. This might be a prospective question. Why? What are the merits, positive merits supporting this change is because teenagers are become more aware. Teenagers are questioning government. When they are questioning government, if you have given the right, you see in India, percentage of voting is coming down because 18 plus people are not showing interest in vote. But these people are more aware. Vote share పెరగాలి అన్న వీళ్ళ voting rate ఇవ్వాలా లేదా? Next, they are more aware. They are woke because they have the right to question. They are showing the duty also. Cockroach Janata Party Jantar Mantara protest chesindi. Next day in చేసింది వచ్చి వాళ్ళే క్లీన్ చేసుకున్నారు. That is a sense of responsibility younger generation have towards the nation. That is missing in other generation. So UK government want to encash on that. If by promoting this to younger generation will be motivated towards politics. We will have young leaders. Yes or no? Nepal got the first time a 40 years old, below 40 years person became the prime minister. You understood? So these all comprehensively you need to have an idea when you write a question with respect to adolescents or Gen Z's. Okay, now you understood? So wokeism, UPSC tend to ఏంటి అంటే వాళ్ళ క్రియేటివిటీ చూపించుకోవడానికి ఇట్లాంటి కొత్త వర్డ్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తారు. ఎల్డర్లీ పాపులేషన్ సిల్వర్ ఎకనామీ అనడము, టీనేజ్ రిలేటెడ్ ఇష్యూస్ ఆర్ అడాలసెంట్ రిలేటెడ్ ఇష్యూస్ దే మైట్ ఆస్క్ అబౌట్ వోకిజం. యూ హ్యావ్ టు బి హ్యావింగ్ ఐడియా. యూ అండర్స్టూడ్? సో వెరీ సింపుల్. సో దీస్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ యూ ఫోకస్ ఆన్ స్టడీ. నౌ నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్, impact of globalization on Indian society. Impact of globalization on Indian society. In globalization is nothing but interconnectedness of countries, interconnectedness of economies, interconnectedness of culture, interconnectedness of everything. Okay, that is what is globalization. In globalization, you know what is globalization, what is the impact of globalization. There is positive impact, there is negative impact, and in globalization you need to understand the concept called homogenization. What is homogenization? If world is moving towards globalization, there will be only global culture. Indigenous culture will be replaced. Okay, that is what we call as an homogenization tendency. Is globalization only promoting homogenization? If you look from negative limelight, yes, it is promoting. But nowadays we see globalization. Under this globalization, we see glocalization. What is that? Global culture adapting to local culture. So this is how you have to. Sir, jargons ekkada kuda miss cheyoddu. Feminization of old age, feminization of agriculture labor, globalization, homogenization, heterogenization, assimilation, accommodation, pluralism. Okay, so globalization impact on Indian society. Once they asked about how globalization is impacting older population, how globalization is impacting young generation, that will be there. How globalization is impacting women. How globalization is impacting women? What are the positives and negatives? Positives enti ante women became more aware. In USA woman is driving a car, why should not I drive a car? Okay, that awareness beriginda leda? Next, women got opportunity, diversified jobs valla women got more opportunity to work. Okay, women rights increased, standard of living of women increased, dignity of women has been started respecting, and so status of women in society also increased. Global leaders, women leaders have been promoted, and even United Nations have recognized, United Nations peacekeeping force unta chudandi. Okay, United Nations Security Council, that also international relations kuda తీసుకొని రావచ్చు, diversification అంటే ఇట్లా. United Nations Security Council have said that the world needs women as negotiators, peace negotiators. Why? Trump ఉన్నాడు అనుకోని తలెత్తికోడు, he will more, the issue will become more conflict ridden rather than coming towards solution. Solutions will be brought by women only. That is the reason why at international level arbitrators, conciliators antar chudandi, United Nations Security Council have said that women should take the center stage in conciliators, arbitrators and negotiators. Then the world will become more peaceful. Can't you write it in society? Can't you write in essay? అర్థమైంది కదా డైవర్సిఫికేషన్ ఎలా తీసుకొని రావాలి. సో అలానే ఇది, సో ఇలాంటి ఐడియాలజీ, గ్లోబల్ ఐడియాలజీ ప్రమోట్ అయింది అనుకోండి, డోంట్ యూ థింక్ ఇట్ విల్ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఇండియన్ సొసైటీ ఆల్సో? ఫర్ ఇండియన్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఆల్సో we will try to promote more women. Women will not be the only chairman for National Commission for Women. She will be the chairman for National Commission for SCs, STs and all. Human Rights Commission chairman will be women. Supreme Court judges will be women. Home Minister, unfortunately no state home minister, very few home ministers are women. Why not women? You understood? So that is how you will be talking about this. Try to bring global best practices. Global best practices with respect to women can be brought to India. That is how you have to write. Disadvantages is nothing but, again, because of globalization, consumer culture పెరిగింది కాబట్టి women are driven more towards consumeristic culture, and women are becoming the victim of consumerism. That is the reason why you see there was a question. Directly they did not ask impact of globalization on young women. They asked about why in India suicide rate of young women is more compared to young men. This is a question which has been asked. Why suicide rate? Because aspirations పెరిగాయి but social structure did not change. Women got exposure to global ideas but family structure is not allowing. Still women want to build better career opportunities but society is not accepting, and son meta preference is there. Son meta preference valla, if she is not giving birth to son, she is been targeted, she is been discriminated. Son meta preference రాయొచ్చు. నెక్స్ట్ చాలా మందికి చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఏంటి అంటే పోస్ట్ పార్టమ్ డిప్రెషన్ ఇస్ ఎ రియాలిటీ. ప్రెగ్నెన్సీ తర్వాత women will undergo depression. In that, when you are not taking care, husband is not taking care, then they will go for suicides. Okay, dowry, deaths, young women. So this is how you have to talk about young women. So that is a question particularly they asked. But if they ask about impact of globalization, how impact of globalization is impacting on Indian family, you have to write Indian family ala emerging trends of family system, new forms, conjugal symmetrical families, dink families, disc families, next live-in relationships, marriage. Earlier you see sacramental nature of marriage was there, and earlier we see traditional marriages were done. Okay, now we see religious aspect of marriage was given important, now civil marriages are giving important. Okay, earlier divorce rate was not that much, now we see increasing divorce rate. Earlier marriage was a closed family issue. Now they are going for lavish weddings. That is also because of globalization, kada. Next, that how it is impacting family, how it is impacting family, how it is impacting joint family. Joint family also. Joint family has been changing into nuclear family. Malli globalization wala nuclear family is also integrating into joint family. That is the reason why they asked the question, life cycle of joint family. Life cycle of joint family was a question which is asked in sociology, that has been asked in GS. Okay, how there might be a question, how globalization is impacting religion. Then you have to write about religious revivalism. Young people are moving towards spirituality. That is the reason why bhakti clubs ane form అవుతున్నాయి. అవి రాయాలి. అర్థమైందా? Impact of globalization. How impact of globalization is globalization is impacting culture. You can say that homogenization tendency undi gani, but now we see globalization is happening. Means global culture is adapting to local culture. Annucha Netflix English సినిమాలని తెలుగులో వస్తున్నాయా లేవా అవి. So that is how you have to look into this impact of globalization. Now last topic, social empowerment, communalism, regionalism and secularism. Okay, social empowerment means how do you empower socially marginalized people? How do you empower? Women empowerment is social empowerment. Child empowerment is social empowerment. Okay, elderly population empowerment. Okay, silver economy. Okay, not just passive recipient, active recipient. So social empowerment, you have to talk about that. How to empower marginalized community, tribes gani, SCs, STs, minorities also. Minorities lo chala important. Ranganath Mishra committee recommendations, Sachar committee recommendations for minorities. And when it comes to LGBT, decriminalization of section 377. Next, when it comes to transgenders, Nalsa judgment for transgenders. These judgments, Supreme Court judgments, are very much important. Next, that you have to understand policies also. That is what I am saying. For tribes, now if government of India is trying to promote PM Janman scheme, what are the salient features of PM Janman? Forest Rights Act, how it is empowering tribes, that can also be asked. Next, how Article 331 would empower SCs. Okay, what are the provisions which is there to promote backward class? ఈ మధ్యలో గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, BC backward caste is so much in the news because of you see caste census. So how to empower backward classes? What are the commissions which has been appointed by government of India to promote backward classes? What is the first backward class commission? Kaka Kalekar commission was there. Next, Mandal commission was there. Okay, first state to implement Mandal backward class commission, Karnataka, you know, Mysore government. That you have to understand. So this is how you have to look into what are the existing policy measures. And in social empowerment, it is also important, just ivi chuskondi, movements of Dalit movements chuskondi, backward class movements chuskondi, chalu. Women's movement. Konni. What are the women's movement? Okay. Peasant movements adigaru. Peasant movements they have asked. Okay. But backward class movements are more important this year for me. And Dalit movements are every time important. Okay. What are the Dalit movements? Okay. Next, communalism, regionalism and secularism. You have to understand, first of all, చాలా మంది కమ్యూనలిజం అంటే డెఫినేషన్ ప్రాపర్ గా తెలియదు. కమ్యూనలిజం మీన్స్ యూజింగ్ ఎనీ సోషల్ ఐడెంటిటీ టు డిస్క్రిమినేట్. కమ్యూనలిజం మీన్స్, వాట్ ఈస్ కమ్యూనలిజం? Communalism means using any social attributes to discriminate. These social attributes can be caste, race, gender, ethnic and religion. మనం ఏమనుకుంటామంటే కమ్యూనలిజం ఈజ్ ఓన్లీ రిలీజియన్. Religious conflicts is communal conflicts. Religion conflicts is one aspect of communalism. Why in India religion conflicts has become communal conflicts, have only become communalism is because religion is the easy vehicle to mobilize masses. What is communalism? When you are using social attributes and polarizing the society for your political advantages. In India, tell me to fit in this definition, tell me one mechanism. Religion. Religion is the easy tool to polarize masses. So religion has become the communal tool. Okay, you have to understand this communalism, how to address communalism. Again, the solution is why we spend more time on salient features. If you understand that unity in diversity, if you understand pluralism, if you understand tolerance, then the solution is here. Here you have to write about Sachar committee recommendations, Ranganath Mishra committee recommendations, National Commission for Communal Harmony. What are the measures which has been taken by National Commission for Communal Harmony? Why in India communalism is increasing? How to address communalism? Okay, you see, there was a case in Delhi High Court that AIMM party is a party which is involved in communal politics. Then High Court said that tell me one political party which is not involved in communal politics. Every political party is involving in communal politics. Okay, so you have to understand what is communalism, what are the factors which is contributing to communalism. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, నేను ఒక ట్రిక్ చెప్తాను. ఈ ఏరియాస్ ఉన్నాయి చూడండి, communalism, regionalism, okay, to an extent to secularism kuda, but particularly to communalism and secularism. Make sure that you write these points in your answers. Why communalism, regionalism is promoting is when you feel relative deprivation. When any community or any region feel relatively deprived, then communalism or regionalism arises. When Muslims feel that relatively they are deprived in enjoying the benefits, communalism arises. When Hindus feels they are relatively deprived, then they face. So that the basic agenda for divisive factors, for divisive politics to thrive in India is sense of relative deprivation. Telangana people agitated for Telangana state because they were relatively deprived. They felt relatively deprived. Communalism and regionalism is major basis on relative deprivation. Okay, you have to focus on these points. చాలా మంది ఈ ఆస్పెక్ట్ రాయరు. కమ్యూనలిజం అంటే ఇవే రాసే డెఫినేషన్ రాసి చెప్తారు. ఓకే, సో ఇవి రాయండి. రీజనలిజం, వై వన్ స్టేట్ ఈస్ సేయింగ్ దట్ we want more resources because they feel that they are relatively deprived. Why Northeast India is saying that we have been neglected? Why Northeast India insecure? Why you see insurgency always in Northeast India? Because simple point, relatively deprived. Northeast India is not developed at the pace at which other Central India has been developed. Relative deprivation. Secessionism, relative deprivation. Core, అదే చెప్తున్నాను చూడండి, కోర్ షుడ్ బి స్ట్రాంగ్, కోర్ కాన్సెప్ట్ షుడ్ బి స్ట్రాంగ్, దెన్ యూ కెన్ బ్రింగ్ డైవర్సిఫికేషన్. కోర్ కాన్సెప్ట్ స్ట్రాంగ్ ఉంటేనే డైవర్సిఫికేషన్ తీసుకొస్తారు. ఓకే, సెక్యులరిజం రిలేటెడ్ ఏంటి అంటే ధర్మ నిరపేక్షత, సర్వధర్మ సమాభావ, యు నో, నాట్ ట్రీటింగ్ ఎవ్రీ రిలీజన్ ఈక్వల్లీ, నాట్ గివింగ్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ టు వన్ రిలీజన్, అండ్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఇండియన్ మోడల్ ఆఫ్ సెక్యులరిజం, వాట్ ఈస్ ద వెస్టర్న్ మోడల్ ఆఫ్ సెక్యులరిజం, దట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్, అండ్ వాట్ ఆర్ ద జడ్జ్మెంట్స్, ఓకే, గివెన్ బై సుప్రీం కోర్ట్. In Keshavananda Bharati case, what in the basic structure of constitution, they said that secularism is a basic structure of constitution. What are the judgments of Supreme Court with respect to secularism? How can in India secularism can be strengthened? What are the policy guidelines? Way forward avi iyal. Okay, so this is how is the syllabus explanation. Ivi chudandi. Okay, now 5 minutes time enta 10:50, 12, 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. I'll just talk about answer writing. This is one area I did not I missed. Answer writing, రిపిటేటివ్ థీమ్స్. నేను ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఈ పీపీటీ ఆల్రెడీ నేను ఎలాబరేట్ చేసే పెట్టాను. దట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ వై. మళ్ళీ పీపీటీ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తే మీరు కూడా చదువుకోవచ్చు కదా. ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు వేస్ట్ యువర్ టైం. ఐ విల్ సెండ్ యూ ద ప్రెజెంటేషన్. ప్రీవియస్ ఇయర్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్ని కంబైన్ చేసి థీమ్స్ కూడా చెప్పాను. అండ్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాస్పెక్టివ్ థీమ్స్, లాజికల్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ ఆల్సో ఇంక్లూడెడ్ ఇన్ ద పీపీటీ. దట్ ఈస్ ద రీజన్ వై ఐ డిడ్ నాట్, దట్ ఈస్ సెల్ఫ్ ఎక్స్ప్లెనేటరీ పీపీటీ. దట్ ఐ డిడ్ నాట్ యూస్. నౌ ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. ఇంపార్టెంట్ థీమ్స్, మేక్ స్ట్రక్చర్. ఇంపార్టెంట్ థీమ్స్ లో మీరు మోడల్ ఆన్సర్స్ టెస్ట్ సిరీస్ రాయకపోయినా రిపీటేటివ్ థీమ్స్ కి యూ రైట్ మోడల్ ఆన్సర్స్. యూ గెట్ ఇట్ ఎవాల్యుయేటెడ్ బై ద mentors or faculty. They will give insights and write a proper model answer, and that should be replicated in exam. First thing. And model answers రాసుకోండి. ఇంపార్టెంట్ థీమ్స్ కి అయితే మోడల్ ఆన్సర్స్ రాసుకోండి. కీవర్డ్స్ కి రాసుకోండి. when you are writing an answer, మోమాట పడొద్దు, సిగ్గు పడొద్దు. కీవర్డ్ ఫస్ట్ ఆన్సర్ క్వశ్చన్ రాయంగానే క్రిటికల్ ఎవాల్యుయేట్ అని ఉంది చూడండి, అండర్లైన్ చేసుకోండి. దాంట్లో ఉన్న కీవర్డ్స్ అన్ని అండర్లైన్ చేసుకోండి. ఓకే. అండ్ మేక్ షూర్ దట్ యు రైట్ ఇంట్రొడక్షన్. ఓకే. వెన్ యూఆర్ రైటింగ్ ఇంట్రొడక్షన్, ఐదర్ define the keywords or give a statistics with respect to keywords. Okay. Or okay, if there is a question on secularism, write about secularism. Okay. So introduction you can use, you can define, you can give a stats, you can write a contemporary issue also. Okay, this is what happened recently. But అంత టైం ఉండదు, ఎస్సే అంత టైం ఉండదు. సో ఇవి రాయండి. అండ్ ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ లో వాట్ ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు సే ఇస్ స్ట్రక్చరింగ్ అని ఆన్సర్ చెప్పాను కదా. ఆన్సర్ స్ట్రక్చరింగ్ ఇస్ వెరీ మచ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. చాలా మంది ఏం రాస్తారంటే ఆన్సర్, ఇంట్రొడక్షన్, బాడీ, కన్క్లూజన్. సార్ దిస్ ఇస్ ప్రాపర్ స్ట్రక్చర్ అనుకుంటారు. ద ప్రాపర్ స్ట్రక్చర్ ఏంటి అంటే ఇంట్రొడక్షన్ షుడ్ బి కనెక్టెడ్ విత్ బాడీ, బాడీ షుడ్ బి కనెక్టెడ్ విత్ కన్క్లూజన్. దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ మచ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సార్ ఇంట్రొడక్షన్ ని బాడీకి కనెక్ట్ చేయడం అంటే ఏంటంటే లింకింగ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్, లింకింగ్ పారాగ్రాఫ్స్, లింకింగ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్. Include if the question is about caste static and dynamic, you say that write down what is caste definition. Okay, caste is a system of stratification where you see hereditary is hierarchy is emphasized, endogamy is emphasized. There is a rigid rules and regulations with respect to caste, and you try to define caste. And then when it is talking about static and dynamic aspect of caste, do you think caste is static or dynamic? You introduce with respect to caste definition, link with traditionally Indian society is caste driven, but we see changes in caste system. You link. Now you write after linking in body, what are the factors which are static factors which are prevailing in the caste? What are the dynamism which we are seeing in caste system? You can draw diagram also, you can draw flow chart also. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, డైవర్సిటీ అనేది కంటెంట్ లోనే కాదు, డైవర్సిటీ అనేది ఆన్సర్ రైటింగ్ లో కూడా ఉండాలి. ఓకే. యూస్ డయాగ్రామ్స్, యూస్ కంపారిజన్, స్టాటిక్ నేచర్, డైనమిక్ నేచర్, యూస్ ఫ్లో చార్ట్స్, యూజ్ ఇమేజెస్ wherever it is possible. Next, body, conclusion. When you are writing conclusion, ultimate conclusion, penultimate conclusion. Conclusion to దీని వల్ల ఏమవుతుంది అంటే, నేను దీని వల్ల ఈ చిన్న ట్రిక్ అనేది ఏం చేస్తుంది అంటే ఒక 1 మార్క్ ఇంపాక్ట్ చేసినట్టేనే కదా. ది కనెక్టింగ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ విల్ బ్రింగ్ స్ట్రక్చర్. బాడీలో డైవర్సిటీ ఉండాలి. దట్ వి ఎంఫసైజ్డ్ ఆన్ దట్. ఓకే. వెన్ యూ ఆర్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ కన్క్లూజన్, డోంట్ directly jump to conclusion. Try to include the contemporary issue which is happening in your answer. Try to use quotes, and then you bring your own conclusion. Contemporary issue తో మాత్రం ఖచ్చితంగా ఉండాలి. Okay, if at all it is women related issue, you can say that 106 constitutional amendment would necessarily bring the political empowerment of women. Next, Final conclusion, women empowerment, political. Next you can write about conclusion of political empowerment of women. You can write about like if 50% of the population is women, if only 25% of the population, if we are having less than 15% of women leaders, then it will not be, women will not become decisive force. Okay, Allah. You can use Amartya Sen capability approach, you can use Ambedkar's quotes, anything, but try to include contemporary aspect. Okay, so structuring, you focus on this. Don't just write introduction, body, conclusion. Try to write linking statements. In body also, don't always go for content. Go for diversification also. Content diversification kavali, structuring diversification kavali. ఓకే, అండ్ యూపీఎస్సి ఎక్కడ కూడా చెప్పలేదు ఇలానే రాస్తే మార్కులు పడతాయని. ఇంకొకటి నేనేం చెప్తాను అంటే, వెరీ జనరల్ టిప్స్లో చాలామంది నన్ను అడుగుతారు, సార్ పారాగ్రాఫ్ రాయాలా, పాయింట్ వైజ్ రాయాలి? జనరల్ స్టడీస్లో అంత స్కోప్ ఉండదు, బట్ ఎక్కడనైతే నీకు స్కోప్ ఉంటే, టైం ఉంటే, యూ రైట్ పారాగ్రాఫ్స్ ఆల్సో 2-3 క్వశ్చన్స్. అరే వెన్ ఎ పర్సన్ ఈజ్ ఎవాల్యుయేటింగ్, అన్ని పాయింట్ వైజ్గా చూసి ఒకటి పారాగ్రాఫ్ వైజ్ రాస్తే డైవర్సిటీ కనిపించిందా లేదా? దట్ ఆల్సో యూ ట్రై. దట్ ఈస్ వెరీ రిస్కీ. ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ ఓవర్ స్మార్ట్ యూ కెన్ మేనేజ్, దెన్ యూ డూ దట్. అండ్ పారాగ్రాఫ్ ఎప్పుడు రాయండి అంటే, ఏదైతే టాపిక్ మీకు బాగొచ్చు అది పారాగ్రాఫ్ వైజ్గా రాయండి. దానివల్ల ఏమవుతుంది తెలుసా, ఇంత కంటెంట్ని ఇంత షార్ట్ పారాగ్రాఫ్లో కన్సైజ్ చేయగలిగాడు అని కన్వే అవుతుందా లేదా? దట్ ఆల్సో యూ షో ఇట్. సార్ యూ write as if there is no tomorrow. Show all your skills there. And ఈసారి చెప్తున్నాను చూడండి, ఈసారి మెనీ సీరియస్ స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా కొంచెం టఫ్ ఉంది కాబట్టి క్వాలిఫై అవ్వరు. సో ఫ్రెషర్స్కి ఎక్కువ స్కోప్ ఉండేది ఈ అటెంప్ట్. అండ్ ఫ్రెషర్స్కి కంటెంట్ వైజ్గా ఇంప్రెస్ చేయకపోయినా ఇవన్నిటి వైజ్గా ఇంప్రెస్ చేయొచ్చు. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ సేయింగ్ దిస్ ఈస్ ఎ చీట్ కోడ్, బట్ దిస్ ఈస్ ఎ రియాలిటీ, యు సీ. ఎందుకంటే కొంతమంది చాలా సీరియస్, పోయినసారి ఇంటర్వ్యూ వెళ్ళిన వాళ్ళు కూడా రావట్లేదు మార్కులు. సో ఫ్రెషర్స్కి ఎక్కువ స్కోప్ ఉంటుంది. ఇంత షార్ట్ టైంలో యూ కెనాట్ గ్రాబ్ మోర్ కంటెంట్, బట్ యూ కెన్ డూ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. థింక్ స్మార్ట్. దిస్ ఈస్ హౌ యూ కెన్ థింక్ స్మార్ట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ, ఆల్ ద బెస్ట్.